Welcome back to From the Couch podcast. This is episode 18. And we are back. We got Peter, we got Aidan. How are we doing this evening, boys?
It's a late one, but ready to go and just good episode ahead of us here, gentlemen.
I just got done watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it's a good day. It's a brand
It's a
new
good
day.
day, yes, sir. It
That's
can't get better than
crazy.
that.
That's all,
We're gonna get
folks. I'll
we're
just
gonna get
add.
things started off here very quickly in our rapid fire news. Some major contracts have been extended. That being in Chris Olave, Denzel Ward, and Jalen Carter. They all got some extensions. The details of a few of theirs. So Chris Olave, he had an extension with a $124 million for 4 years. Denzel Ward was a 2-year, $54 million, and a 4-year, $152 million for Jalen Carter. Um, Personally, boys, I kind of like some of these moves. I think a lot of these players here deserve these extensions. Obviously, being an Ohio State fan, seeing Chris Olave, of course, getting his extension, pretty happy about. Aidan and I were discussing this just the other day that despite everything that's kind of going on in New Orleans, is Chris Olave really just doesn't have somebody to throw the ball to him, and which is kind of why he's had some issues trying to get a hold of the ball. But relatively, as a wide receiver, is still a fantastic one. And I don't remember who. I think he has Tyler Shook right now as his QB. So I don't know. Maybe things are going to change this year, and I do think at least for the Saints contract that is worthy of extension. But yeah, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on either that or any of the other contracts that we got going on?
Well, the big problem in Chris Olave's camp is the guy who was trying to throw him the ball had a how do you put this? A hitman contract on him, I think, because all he was trying to do is get him killed. I'm referring to Derek Carr, not last
Oh,
year. Referring to Derek Carr trying to get him killed the year prior. So I think last year he was, and then last year he was injured. So this will hopefully be his first full year back healthy, right? Um, so I'm happy for him. I think the Saints did make a good decision. I think he is a phenomenal wide receiver, and I'm happy to see what he can do. Hopefully, he can prove that contract extension right and play well this year. Uh, I will say, even as an Ohio State fan, I am shocked that the. I guess I'm not shocked that Denzel Ward is being extended. I'm shocked at the length. I mean, he is getting a little bit older. He's 29. He's pushing. He's getting to the 30s, which in the NFL is you're starting to get to unk status at that point. But he's still a phenomenal defender. I love him. I love watching him play, even though he is in the AFC North and he doesn't play for my Steelers. But I was a little shocked just at the number. But I'm happy for him nonetheless, and I hope he can continue to do good things. Jalen Carter makes sense. Uh, the good get better. Why not re-sign him? Just keep that up. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, all those guys, they got their bread. Shout out to them. So, congrats to those
facts,
guys.
yeah, they
facts.
got the talent. It's clear they're meant to have that. So yeah, congrats to all those guys getting those extensions. Um, Moving on to the MLB, our trade deadline's coming up, boys, on Monday. That is what is that? August 2nd, I
3 days.
believe. Yeah.
A third, I believe.
Um, but yeah, so I mean now, there usually when these trade deadlines happen, and particularly any sport, usually something big likes to happen last minute at the very end of these deadlines. When it comes to the MLB and any of the teams, and even our own teams, the Cardinals and the Reds, do you think there's any potential shakeups that could be happening in these last few days? Again, whether it be the MLB overall or with our teams in particular, anything you guys are looking out for or hoping for?
Well, I think for the Cardinals, going to be at the deadline. They've been ever since the All Star break ended. They've been going through a bit of a rut. Pitching has been awful. Hitting has been lackluster. So I think they're going to be sellers at the deadline, but I think they're going to be smart about who they trade away and what they get in return. The farm system is pretty good right now. But obviously, all eyes are on Tarek Skubal, whether or not he's going to get traded from Detroit. There's been links to him going to New York. There's been links of him going potentially to LA. But again, we don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if like some other big names get tossed around the deadline. But obviously, Eric Skubal is the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, same note. Obviously, division rival being the Reds. Kind of similar idea. I do think I actually I don't know if we're gonna be full sellers this year. Believe it or not. Uh, I don't think we're buyers. I think we're gonna be kind of a very tight mixture of the two this year. Only because we're hot right now. I think we've won 7 of our last 10 coming out of the All Star break, something like that. Uh, I don't remember the exact number there, but we're currently sitting at 52 and 57, which is still last in the Central nonetheless. But we're putting some winning things together. There were talks of Hunter Green moving. I heard rumor that that was put to rest tonight. That the Reds are no longer looking to move him, which is why I don't think we're going to be full sellers this year. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe move on from some pieces. Heard rumors of like Tyler Stevenson. Heard rumors of I believe Noel Marte potentially. I don't really know all the rumors, but I've heard just some whispers here and there of certain guys. I've heard I think Spencer Steer thrown out there. But I think we could find ourselves to be kind of a combination. Uh, just because we've been getting hot, will that remain? Who knows? Uh, quick shout out to Sal Stewart is officially first in the MLB in RBIs, unless CJ Abrams got another RBI tonight, which I don't know if he did. Let me check that really quick. I'm going with a negative on that. He did not. So he is officially, yeah. So Sal Stewart is officially in the lead, first place with 83 RBIs in the MLB. So congrats to Sal Stewart.
I want to say
I
too, real
think
quick, and I'm as far as the Reds go, I'm hoping that they don't make too many mistakes. I kind of think back to the Jonathan India situation and having him depart. I think I was personally a big fan of Jonathan India, so the Reds have had some problems with getting rid of some good players, and if they go about getting rid of somebody who's probably a key player. I mean, like Hunter Green, when I saw that news yesterday, I was like, okay, I really hope that's not going to be the case. Obviously, we probably need some big pieces, but I just think back to that Jonathan India situation. So, but I'm kind of glad that it seems apparent that the Hunter Green rumors are dying down at the moment.
yeah.
uh,
I think for Red, sorry, I want to get my
no, you're good. Go
thoughts on
ahead.
that. I think the Reds are. I think like kind of like what you were saying, and like I don't think they're going to be big sellers. I think they'll probably sell off like I'm not going to say someone like a Sal Stewart, but it's like they got to be smart about like who they're selling off and what they're going to get back in return. Because obviously, I think that with how many good young players are on that team in general, but they could still make some noise. Obviously, the LA Taylor's contract situation is still very like
Yeah,
mucky right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if like a team or two inquires about him. See, like because again, like for any team in the MLB, like you're going to at least like, take the opportunity to say, hey, like, is this player available? If so, what do you want in return? The Reds could just field the offers and just say, hey, this is what we want in return. They're like, we're not giving up like literally the and a half to get Ellie purchase.
yeah,
But I think the Reds might like sell off like a few of like their productive players just to get something in return. Because you can't
yeah.
just like run it back with the same team over and over and
Agreed.
over again and expect the team to do something different. You can kind of
Yeah,
allude at what I'm getting at in the NFL terms.
yeah,
But I since a blind spot, but the Cardinals, like I think like Dustin May will probably get traded, Liebertor might get traded, Lars Newbar might get traded. I'm sorry, Lars. So sorry. Um but yeah, I think the Cardinals are in the same spot too. It's like good young core can't trade a ton because they don't want to get rid of players' potential too early. But I think it'll be interesting unless
yeah. The big need right now for the Reds is either bullpen help or outfield bats. I think that's kind of where The Reds have really been actually, ironically, I think the Reds they either still lead the MLB in home runs or they're, like, up there in numbers. They're 6th, right now in the MLB in home runs, so, like, we have some power. By some miracle, we have some power. Um, but we need more consistent bats. I mean, you look at, who is it? Is it Otto Lopez with
Marlins.
the
Yep.
Rays? The Marlins, that's what it is,
Nope.
yeah.
Marlins.
He's
Yep.
like yeah, and he's like he is I mean, he's on fire this year. Like, that's a consistent bat, right? The Reds don't really have a consistent bat. I mean, Ellie and I think South Stewart are our 2 batting average leaders, and I think they're both batting around, like, 270 right now, which is fine. It's good. But yeah, we definitely need, like, a more consistent outfield bat, I'd say. Uh, honestly, I think my hot take is I think the Reds might look to shop Gino Suarez.
Eugenio
So,
Suarez.
yeah,
I don't
I
know. I
think,
mean, didn't he sign a 2-year contract or was it just a 1 year?
that I don't recall off the top of my head,
I, I
but
I think it was a
I j
multi-year, but like it's hard because he's had a bad year, like
yeah.
horrible.
But I think I just feel like it's kind of the upside argument, like, we know what his upside is. You know, you look in the past, he's been like a 40 home run kinda guy, like, he can do it.
Hmm.
So, I think if you sell to or I guess you could technically argue be a buyer in the situation, you buy to a selling team, right? That maybe or I guess it'd be more of a team looking to win now, potentially, looking for that kinda bat,
Mhm.
power bat, true power bat. You could potentially find the right type of deal there. Again, I think it's a very fine line. I don't think, every team's gonna come running when they hear Eugenio Suarez is available, but, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to hear, there is a team out there that's struggling with power, that wants a power bat that can, even if it's inconsistently, get them something on the board. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll have
Mhm.
to see. It's going to be an interesting deadline for sure, like Levi said. So
Absolutely. There's a lot going on in the MLB, and we'll see. Again, I think particularly with Scooball is going to be the particular one that people are going to have eyes on. So, but we'll be closely monitoring that and find out how this is going to impact this latter half of the season. Moving on now, we had a little bit of a discussion with FIFA. So there has been some changes since not too long ago, but there was some pushback in regards to FIFA, the UEFA, which for our non our non-American fans of FIFA, that's the Europe Union of European Football
you mean for
Associations.
our American fans?
For our American fans, thank you. So they were banning all FIFA competitions because a lot of the assets were being sold off to private investors. However, there has been a lot of pushback for that, and teams are now starting to boycott it. But it seems apparent that they are now backing out of that. Aiden, as a primary follower, and when it comes to FIFA and some of the details on how the intricacies of this league particularly work, like how big of a deal would you say this is for those people who don't follow FIFA quite as much?
Uh, that is a very loaded question, I feel like. I mean, I think it would have been bad for the sport, like, no matter what. Like, I don't think there was any doubt or any reasonable doubt in anyone's mind that that would have been good or thought that that would have been good for the sport. I think that anytime private investors start getting involved, I think you're really getting into some hairy or some deep water. I don't think that's ever a good look. Like, think about if the NFL sold, like the NFL as an entity sold to private investors. I just think that wouldn't be a great look. You know what I'm saying? Not that they're it's a little bit different, of course, but or like the MLB, if they completely sold to a private investor, I think you start getting into some weird stuff, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, UEFA was not happy, CONCACAF wasn't happy, so, I mean, I don't really think they ever had a choice, I think backing out was the only option, or else there would have been a large fracture, in the soccer world, so that's
Yeah,
kinda my
and
thoughts.
again, I'm not like a again, I'm not like into the weeds of soccer as it is. But I think for any league that decides to invest or basically sell essentially soul to private investors, like you're just asking for trouble. Because let's just be perfectly honest, we're starting to see that more in college sports, sadly. Like you have certain universities are now partnering up with private investors and private equity groups to basically start getting influx of money. And basically what happens is that you're basically like driving away the customers themselves because now they're not going out and seeing a product where it's like, that they want to see a sport that they love and they care about. They're now being like sold, hey, like you come to this game, we're gonna bombard you with like extremely high exorbitant ticket prices where it's almost like it's now a luxury to go to these games. Because I definitely know in like Europe, it's like it's easy to get tickets. It's easy to get fans to come to the soccer pitch and play the games. But in America, it's we're starting to see certain leagues treat it like it's a luxury, where it's like, hey, if you want to come watch, let's say an Ohio State football game, it's now going to cost you like almost like $500+ per ticket, and it's in the nosebleeds. You're like, that's not going to drive people to the seats. You're driving people away, especially during hard economic times. So I think that kind of what Aidan was alluding to. It was the only decision because if it kept on going down that road and sold to private equity, like all these other nations were going to be like, well, we're not going to play in FIFA competitions, period, and there will be a World Cup. So I think that was the smart decision. It was the only decision for them because they went down
Yeah.
that road. It would have been terrible.
Yep.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm really glad that they're realizing their mistakes. There's a lot of times where these leagues do questionable things, and it's not very often that you find them backing out of some of these decisions. So I mean, bravo to them to, trying to set things right. So I
I
love
don't
that.
know if I would
It
give him props. I think
well,
anytime you recoil
it's the whole point
from,
though that the situation shouldn't have even happened in the first place. But it's good that they at least realize, the problems that they started basically.
we'll go with
So
that, I suppose.
I mean,
yeah,
in like I again like it's kind of like the whole situation with Sony and PlayStation, where they
Yeah.
want to go like discless and they want to get rid of physical media. And like today, like Sony's like, well, we're not going to be changing plans. We're going down that route. And it's like,
Yeah,
why?
right.
So like
It's true.
at least FIFA had the wherewithal idea of like, okay, like maybe this is actually a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Um, okay, well, fellas, we've already started some college football stuff, and we'll be getting to some of that stuff here in the next few weeks. But the NFL, we are now 7 weeks away from the NFL season, with our first game of all days is going to be on a Wednesday, which is going to be really weird. Which I think is due to Thursday they're playing in Australia, so that's why they're going to have their first official game on Wednesday. So we're 7 weeks away from the NFL season. Um, so
God.
yeah. But so with that said, over the next few weeks, we're going to be giving our division predictions. So kind of going over each of the teams and seeing how we feel, how confident we feel about these teams going into this upcoming season. So over the next few weeks, we'll talk about that. So tonight, boys, we're going to be starting with the AFC and the NFC South. So let's go ahead and get started here. I want to see what you guys have for your predictions. Why don't we go ahead and start with the AFC South? Who would like to lead us off?
I mean, I can
I
lead that. Do you want to
I
go like one by? Do you want to go one by one? Like we just go like
I would
who we think
say,
is going to finish at the
yeah,
I
I
think
would
we just go
bottom?
say,
like team for team.
yeah, I think we do team for team. So why don't we
So
start with
with the
the
Bucks,
Texans for the
the
AFC
Texans.
South?
Texans.
Sounds good.
Um, I have them finishing second in the division, 10-7.
I have the Texans at third in the division at 5-12.
I have them Mm, I would have them first in the division at 13-4.
Oh, we're all over the place. Holy,
We are.
okay. Do you want to talk about as like why we're in this
Uh,
mindset a little bit?
yeah. So for me personally, I'm looking at so if you look at uh the division itself and their division games, I think that they split with the Jags. I think they get swept by the Colts, and I think they sweep the Titans. Right? I think they're good enough to steal one from the Jaguars, but I don't know. I like the Colts way more than I like the Texans, and I think personally, I think that the Colts will be a better rounded team throughout the year, and I think that'll be enough to push them through to a sweep of the Texans. But then on that other note, like the Titans, I mean, I just don't like anything about the Titans really, right? And that'll show when we get to the Titans and how I have them going this year. Um, and then otherwise, I mean, if you pull up their schedule, I mean, it's kind of it's not really a good draw for the Texans, in my opinion. Especially that those first 7 games. I mean, those first 7 games, I have them, I think, at 1-7, and that only win coming against the Titans. Excuse me. Like that's a tough first 7 games for an offense, quite frankly, that's been struggling the way they have. Right?
See, and I understand all that. Let me just kind of take you through where I sat them because I have them winning 13 games and only losing 4. That being with they're going to split with the Colts. I do think that they'll probably take like their for the first game, but the Colts will kind of get things together and win in the second one. Same thing for Jags. I think they are splitting with the Jaguars because I do love what they have going on down there in Jacksonville. And I think they can get themselves put together because, like you do say, they have had some struggles, particularly on their offense. We've talked about on this show the some of the turnovers that CJ Stroud has had, and really just there's not a line particularly that's kind of helping him in that situation. But and then my other 2 games that I have them losing are Green Bay and Philadelphia. So I personally really like this Texans team because there's a lot of potential there. If they figure out their offensive line woes, then I really think that they are a legit contender. They beat the Steelers, who frankly should not have been there last year in the wild card round. But like despite all that, if you clean up the turnovers, fix that O line, I think you are probably an AFC championship game level team. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. I went 10-7 primarily because the fact that I think the storyline with the Texans this year is going to be predominantly the defense is going to be not historical, but it's going to be elite. And I think the offense is going to have its ebbs and flows. And I think there's going to be the whole discussion about whether or not CJ Stroud is the quarterback going forward. I don't believe that personally. I just think that's going to be narrative pushed out at some point during the season. I do agree with Leo on the fact that if they figure out their offensive line issues, I think that this team, like the sky's the limit. But I just, it's a lot of question marks. I mean, David Monk, I think the running back room does help out a lot with how bad their run game was last year. But again, it boils down to can that offensive line just exist for like 3 seconds and protect CJ Stroud? And I think
So
I think personally, I think they're going to be good enough to make the wild card, but I think that that's the biggest concern is their offensive line.
that's why I have them honestly 2 at 5 and I just don't trust the offensive line. Like unless they show something, like I just don't trust the offensive line at all. Like yeah, it's just that's kind of where I'm coming from though. I want to see him succeed again. I like the Texans a lot actually, but I just don't trust the offensive line. They have a great defense, but I just think at the end of the day, they're gonna get if they get in a shooting match, they're not gonna win that shooting match. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's kind of
hmm
where I'm at. Like
I think it's going to be a lot of like low double digit scoring games for the Texans that they're going to have.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of like 17 point, like 17-10, 17-14 games that they're going to win. And it's going to be like really straight.
yeah. And like you
Maybe they
said,
get
Peter,
some devil magic on their side.
yeah, yeah. You clarified it perfectly, Peter. The sky's the limit for this team. If they do some proper cleanup for this team, I do think that yeah, they could be a legit contender. Man, they could probably make a Super Bowl. They just got to clean things up. That's really all they got to do. There's not like a whole
They have
lot that's stopping them.
they have everything in front of them. If they could just like figure out like 3 of the 5 offensive line issues, like they're golden.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Let's go to another team who is arguably up on the uprising right now, and personally someone that I also am kind of rooting for, the Jacksonville Jaguars, because I have the Jaguars also going 13-4, but I'll have them winning second place in the division.
I have Jacksonville finishing first in the division at 12-5.
I have the Jags at second in the division at 10-7.
Okay.
So, like I had said before, the Jaguars, they will split with the Texans. But so other than that game, some of the notable matchups that they have, they're gonna also split with the Colts, and then their other two losses are gonna to me are gonna probably be like the Patriots and the Broncos. So see, you have a little bit of there's a lot going on here for Jacksonville. The primary thing has been Trevor Lawrence. You know, he's been in the league for what, like 5, 6 years now at this point, and
Mhm.
we're just now seeing like his talent reach the levels that it probably should have been when he entered the league. He was, I mean, he was a first round pick, and there was high expectations for him going into the league. Jaguars historically have not been a great team. They have like one season where they are typically like a sky's the limit type team, going and winning a divisional, going winning a potential AFC championship game. They dismantled the Steelers over a decade ago, which is a game I don't even want to talk about. But they have those 1 or 2 seasons every now and then where they're just incredibly good. For me, I think this is the turning point for them after seeing the performance of Trevor Lawrence last year, seeing it seems like he's kind of finally gotten a grip on this team and what needs to be done. They've obviously picked up some tremendous assets to their team. One, of course, being Travis Hunter. That was a huge pickup for them in the draft. And I think that he has the weapons he needs where they need to go. So for me, it's also a sky's the limit situation. I do just think that the Texans will probably just edge out for the division and winning it first. So there'll be some type of tiebreaker going on with that. But I do think the Jaguars, they might have finally hit their turning point that they need to consistently be good. And Trevor Lawrence is going to be the one to lead them and, complete that cycle that they've been trying to do for over a decade now. And the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for the Jacksonville. That's my personal take, but 13-4 for them is where I have them going.
Yeah, so for me with the Jags, like again, this is another team that I really like. I do really like the Jags. I'm just not insanely confident in their offense outside of Trevor Lawrence, right? Brian Thomas has shown really good things, but he was really inconsistent last year. Jacoby Myers can be a good receiver, but again, he's just kind of another inconsistent guy. We don't really know too much about him. And then wide receiver 3 is Parker Washington. Like, yeah, he had some big games last year, but is he really a guy you want at wide receiver 3? Not saying that obviously you can't have, Malik Neighbors a wide receiver 3, right? That's not possible. But I don't know if I'm sold on Parker Washington. And then just kind of defensively, it's just not really a defense I love. That's kind of my other concern with them is again, if you get in a shooting match, can the Jags the Jags offense, I think will be a lot more capable uh to go out and survive a shooting match, but I don't love it. I'm not in love with it is my big concern. And I think they split pretty much. I think I have them splitting the entire season if I recall. I don't think so. Yeah. It's for them I just think it and again, let's just be real. I think, they're an injury away from things going downhill. Brian Thomas gets hurt, Jacoby Myers steps out at wide receiver 1, Parker Washington wide receiver 2, who replaces Parker Washington at wide receiver 3. I think they're an injury away, and then again, running back, their running back room is cooked in my opinion. So, that's my big concerns with the Jags.
Yeah, I think for me, like that's like one big concern I had with Jacksonville heading into this season was because primarily that the I just think again like with Travis Achan gone and he goes to New Orleans,
Etienne,
I think
Travis
that
Etienne.
well his he actually did say in his press conference the correct pronunciation is Achan. I don't know
Really?
again. Yes, I again
That's
I
weird.
that is the way that he said that in his media day with New Orleans. Again, that's we'll get into New Orleans later on. Um, but I really liked I again like I it's kind of like what I think you were saying, Aiden. Like the whole entire offense is going to revolve around Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence
Yeah.
has a great season, this team can win the division. If he has mediocre season, like I think it's still viable with really how I think again weird the AFC South has been over the last 5 years. Um, but I think losing that running back room is just bro. Like that's gonna be if you get 750 yards rushing from one running back, like that's an achievement for them because like I don't have any confidence in it. I think that the with Travis Hunter going to come back this year from his season-ending injury from last year. I think that we're going to potentially see him like be very good, but it's a question of like do you utilize him on the offensive side of the ball primarily or defensive side. And I think they would probably go defense first because I think their secondary is a little sketchy in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I think really overall, like I think that this schedule is a good gauge on I think where Jacksonville can go. And I think Liam Cohen is the correct coach for Trevor Lawrence and for this team to like really go from a surprising team last year that won 13 games last year to this year like they could again win the division for a second year in a row.
Yeah. And I like that you pointed out their schedule because I think this is a kind of a rocky start to the year, but I think they have a really solid middle of the year. Personally, that's kind of how I phased it. I think they actually have a really solid
Mm-hmm.
middle of the year, and then late, I think they kind of stumble a little bit late and finish a little rocky. It's kind of my thought.
Yeah, I mean they have a 3 game stretch of the year. They play the Titans, Giants, and Titans again.
Yeah.
So that's like 3 wins, like right off the bat, right there.
Pretty easy for them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts. Ian, why don't you take the lead
Sure.
here?
Yep. So I have the Colts winning the division at 12-5, and I think they sweep the South outside of the Jags, who I think they split a game with. Um, I mean, what can I say about the Colts? They have one of, if depending on who you ask, the best running back in the NFL. Again, depending on who you ask. If you ask Ethan, he might say that. I don't know. He loves Jonathan Taylor. Um, again, and
Big
then
10
this is yeah, this comes back to again the Daniel Jones conversation. I like Daniel Jones enough to be confident in him. You know, I think their offense I think will be fine. I think as long as he stays healthy. That's a big caveat to that. If he stays healthy, I think their offense will be fine. Alec Pierce deserved contract extension. I think we talked about that way back when it happened. I think he's going to be a great wide receiver one. He showed a lot of good things. I like Josh Downs a lot at wide receiver two. Obviously, Tyler Warren, absolute stud at tight end, so you can't be upset there. Solid offensive line all around, obviously led by probably the best left guard in the NFL, and Quentin Nelson. And then defensively, they are definitely not as strong, in my opinion. Obviously, got some good names there. I'm excited to see Sauce Gardner get his first full year with the team, get that full system under his belt, see what he can do with that full, off season of experience with the defensive coordinators. See what he can do this year because he's, in my opinion, has a really high ceiling. So
Hmm. Yeah, I have the Colts finishing third in the division at 8-9. And that's because primarily speaking, I am not a fan of Daniel Jones. I don't believe in him. I think that what we got last year out of Daniel Jones was it reminded me a lot of that year where the Giants were super super good and they made the playoffs and everyone's like, oh, like Daniel Jones turned the corner, he became a better player. I think primarily speaking, that's because Jonathan Taylor was an MVP candidate last year, and I mean we all saw what happens. Daniel Jones gets hurt, Anthony Richardson, he's probably get moved on or cut or traded uh, before the season starts or during the season. Um, I don't have any. I think the Colts to me are like a mid team. Like they're good enough to be decent, but not good enough, in my opinion, to where they're a contender. And I think overall, until the Colts get off the quarterback carousel every year about like,
Mm.
hey, like we're gonna bring in Carson Wentz or we're gonna bring in Phil Rivers out of like retirement for the third straight time, or like whoever else are gonna bring in a quarterback. They got to figure out who their long-term future QB is going to be. And I think with this year's you can find it. I just don't think the Colts, in my opinion. I think Daniel Jones. I think I alluded to it in our quarterback rankings. I think the snake salesman. I think he gets one good year, he swindles you out of millions of dollars, and then he runs off into the sunset, and nobody can find him. So, 8 and 9.
Yeah. I do share the same optimism as Aidan does. I know we've had our Daniel Jones conversations in the past, but I do also have the Colts finishing third at 12-5. Um, the way I kind of looked at the Colts again with the Daniel Jones situation, maybe this was a one-time fluke, maybe it wasn't. I still again am a believer in Indiana Jones and think that he can do it. But when I take a look at their schedule too, I do think relatively they have a relatively easy schedule for the most part. Like I don't see them having problem sweeping the Titans. They'll beat Minnesota. The Dolphins aren't going to be any good this year. I don't think the Giants are going to be good. Um, but for some of their losses, they make sense. Ravens, they're gonna lose. Chiefs, Eagles. The one that I was also kind of had trouble deciding on was the Bengals. Bengals we'll get to another day, but Bengals, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there that they play them week 16, so that could be a hit or miss game for them. But overall, I do think they have a relatively good schedule that I don't think it would be hard for them to go and win 12 games this season. So, but again, like you said, it does come down to how Daniel Jones is going to perform. If this is a one-time thing, if he gets injured, they have arguably one of the best running backs in the league to help carry them if they need it. And we kind of saw that a little bit after Daniel Jones' injury last year, but it's not going to be enough. The quarterback is the leader on the field. If you don't have the right quarterback, you're not getting very far. But if he's healthy and Jonathan Taylor is healthy, I think this team can hit the bar. But again, there's not too much for me personally against Daniel Jones. So that's kind of where I have them. I have them at 12-5. Um, I'm an Indiana Jones believer. What can I say?
I find it interesting. So my catalyst kind of for their season is this early part of the year. I think they're going to shock the Ravens. I think they're gonna Lamar coming off of his injury. I don't think he's gonna be playing at his best ability. I think they're gonna go in, they're gonna find a way to get it done at home against the Ravens, and I think that's gonna be the catalyst to start the year. I also think they beat the Chiefs, even though it's in Kansas City. I don't, I'm not a huge fan of the Chiefs this year. Uh, we'll see what happens. I don't know if you guys saw the video of Travis Kelce reporting to camp. One of the comments said it looked like he was pregnant with his and Taylor Swift's baby because that was like how out of shape he looked, I guess.
Oh
Oh my
no!
gosh, that's
I'm not
terrible.
Oh
condoning that comment. I am
no!
just saying what I read. That's it. I
Oh my
actually
He went way
think,
too
gosh.
hard. He went way too hard on the honeymoon.
yeah, Levi, I actually think I'm gonna contest kind of your argument. I actually think they dropped the game to the Giants middle of the year.
Mhm.
Um,
Interesting.
because I love the Giants. That's all I
Well,
have to say. We'll get to
yeah,
that in another episode, but
save it there. But interesting. That'll be an interesting topic for another day. I love that. Let's finish the AFC South here, boys, with the Tennessee Titans.
Well, we all have them last, sadly.
We all have
yeah.
them last.
Now what
And
the
I don't
I
think
record
a
went
is
lot.
the
5 and
I
question.
think we're
12.
in agreement that we don't have them going very far, personally.
5-12 is
Yeah,
kind
I
of
have them
wild.
going 5 and 12.
I
Personally.
also have them going 5 and 12. There's just, I'm sorry, Tennessee, but this is Cam Ward's second
Second.
second year. I mean, they have a lot of promising assets on their team. They just got Carnell Tate in the draft. Obviously, a little bit of Ohio State bias there. They have Pollard as their running back. Calvin Ridley, I still think I know he's getting a little bit older, but he's still plays at a decently good level. I guess it really just comes down to maybe their defense. I really don't trust what their defense has going, but I think they picked up some good assets for their offense this year, but it's not going to be enough for them. I'm sorry. I really don't have a whole lot to say here on the Titans. It's just, with everything they have going on right now, I just don't trust. I don't trust the system they have there. Cam Ward's going to probably still need another year. The Titans they're still trying to figure things out. So I don't know. They're 5 and 12. Not much else to add to them.
Yeah. I have them at 5 and 12 too, because I think, again, kind of what Levi was alluding to. They have just so many problems, I think, in general. I do think I agree with Levi's fact that, hey, they got Wandale Robinson at wide receiver. That's a really good pickup for them. Carl Tate. The whole entire wide receiver core is just rejuvenated with good talent. But my problem is the fact that, one, it's a whole new coaching staff, whole new system. They got Robert Saleh as head coach, Brian Dable. The, did you guys hear what Nashville's calling them for the Titans
What?
for Robert Saleh and Brian Dable? They
I
called
did
them the
not.
Bald Bros.
The Ball Bros?
The Bald
Oh,
Bros.
Ball
Interesting.
Bros. Oh my
Because
gosh.
they're both like significantly bald. Um, but I think overall for them, like, I think this season's just a wash again. Because again, like, need a lot of help. I think they're gonna, like, again, with this year's draft, be bad, get another good offensive weapon to come out, whether that be running back, whether it be a better tight end or a better offensive lineman to help them out to solidify the line. Again, Robert Saleh, I think defense was going to be fine. I think Robert Saleh has shown the fact that he can work pretty well with not a lot of talent around him. Or like what happened last year with the 49ers, like that defense got decimated by injuries, but they were still a top-notch defense because Robert Saleh knows how to be really good. But I think with Brian Dable there, I think it's going to take some time for Cam Ward to go, like, one, learn the system, and then two, like, take that next step and develop. And I just think that this year is just going to be a year where they're not going to be good. They're going to get a top 10 pick, and then they're just going to continue in their rebuild.
Yeah, I have the Titans at 3-14. I don't really like anything that they're offering. Um, like,
Let's go.
yes, they got Carnell
Go
Tate. Yes,
go
they have
go at him.
Cam
Go
Ward,
unleash
who I
him.
really
Uh,
who I really like, but
Let us
their
know how you
defense
really feel. Let us know how you really
listen,
feel.
okay, listen, their defense probably should never be allowed to step on an NFL football field. Like, what in the heck is their defense outside of, like, Jeffrey Simmons, I think is his name? Like, I don't like their defense by any
They
stretch of
got
the
some
imagination.
Madden generated players on that defense.
Like, and then again, you look at their offense, like Cam Ward, I think Cam Ward could be a really good quarterback. He's shown really good stuff even last year with what he had. Carnell Tate will add another depth, another layer to that offense, but at the end of the day, they still have Calvin Ridley in there. They still have Wandale Robinson in there. Like, let's just be so for real for a second. Those guys are not amazing. Calvin Ridley's okay. Calvin Ridley could be really good. I don't know, like, kind of what happened since he was drafted, because I remember he was highly touted coming out of high school, college.
He
Um,
gambled. He gambled and got suspended.
yeah, but still, uh, but I mean, like, so what do you say? Like, they're just not a good team. You know? I literally have them winning against the Jets at the start of the year, and then they don't see a win until week 12, where I think by some miracle, I think they split with the Jags. I think the Jags have one of those off games where things just don't click, the defense doesn't play well, the offense is struggling, and I think for some reason they sneak one away from the Jags, and then I don't have another win till week 16 against the Raiders, and I think that's self-explanatory. But
Mm.
like, I genuinely just hate everything about this team. I don't think it's a good team. I'm sorry, Titans fans. I like Tony Pollard. I like Cam Ward. I like Carnell Tate. But if you weren't in a rebuild yet, which I think you have been, I think you need to continue the rebuild. So 3-14.
Salute.
Salute.
All right. So, I think uh yeah, I think overall, let's go back through and see who we had top down. Had Jacksonville win the division at 12-5, Houston second place at 10-7, Indy 8-9, Tennessee at 5-12. And Aiden, who do you have from
I
top
had
down?
Colts 12-5, Jags 10-7, Texans 5-12, Titans 3-14.
And then Levi?
Levi, you are muted, I believe. We are having technical difficulties, unfortunately, here on Levi's end.
Oh my goodness gracious. Don't worry, everyone. We are a professional podcast here.
Yep.
Professional
So
podcast.
while he figures that out, we will go ahead and advance ourselves. And then once he gets that figured out, we will track back to him. Peter, if you want to lead us
Yep.
off here on the NFC South, we'll start with the Bucks.
Oh my gosh. Like how much drama has been going on with the Bucks for the past like 48 hours. I don't even know what to do with them anymore.
Yeah,
I have the Bucks finishing second at 8-9.
that's interesting. See, I had the Bucks finishing first at 9-8.
Well, okay, can we just give it a buck 50 right here with the NFC South? You can literally just again, I just want to point this out to everybody. We don't despise any team in the NFC South. We got no beef
Nope.
at all.
Nope.
Honestly, this is a complete crapshoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can make a very good argument that any team at any like literally, there could be a good valid argument, obviously not great, but not terrible for the Saints to win this division for crying out loud. And
Yeah.
that's a difference that I think how bad the NFC South is because I think personally for me, like I don't trust Todd Bowles as head coach. I think that he made some horrendous decisions at the end of last year that costed the Buccaneers to lose the division to the Carolina Panthers, which I think to me like there should have been at least some changes in the coaching staff after that happened. But I think overall, like with Vita Vea having a trade request, we don't know how that's going to pan out. Baker Mayfield still is having a contract dispute uh, with uh, with Tampa Bay. I just think overall, like again, injury bug has to leave Tampa, and I don't think it's going to. I think that that's the main reason why I have them like barely floating above 8 and 9, like
Yeah.
8 and 9, where I'm like they're just like right there. I'm like, I just don't think they get it.
Yeah, so my thought process with the Bucks is I think they're gonna be good enough, right? Obviously, 9-8 wins the division, in my opinion, which should tell you a lot about how I feel about this team. Or sorry, not this team, but this division. Um, I think the key factors are going to be Bucky Irving returning and being healthy, and a healthier wide receiver core. Chris Godwin will be back for hopefully fully healthy season. Um, Obviously, Emeka Egbuka struggled with a little bit of injuries there late last year. But I'm kind of riding on the idea that Vita Vea doesn't get traded, right? I know he
Right.
requested a trade, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get a guy in there who, maybe it's contract dispute, right? Maybe it's he just wants to see a higher figure on the contract, right? So I'm riding on the fact that the Vita Vea trade doesn't go through because then I absolutely love the Vita Vea Ruben Bain combination on the defensive line
Mhm.
there. And so I'm kind of riding on the fact that Vita Vea doesn't get traded. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Um, Unfortunately, it does look like Levi's still having some mic issues, so we'll continue on. Let's move on to the Saints. I know you're really high on the Saints, Peters. What do you got for me?
Well, I'm not particularly high. I'm high on Tyler Shook, but I'm not high on the Saints. I have the Saints finishing last in the division at 7-10.
Uh, I have the Saints at last in the division at 6-11.
Okay, so kind of the
So
same mindset,
yeah,
like same
we're right
vein.
there. Oh,
Yeah,
I should mention. I forgot to mention with the Bucks. I actually have them sweeping the South. That's my hot
interesting.
take.
But
Yeah,
and that's the only reason why they won the division, like the South.
pretty much.
Nice.
They sweep the
Um,
division and win 3 extra games.
the Saints are a weak team. I can't get a gauge on them. Like they're not like
Yeah.
awful. Like I'm like last year, like everyone was expecting them to bottom out and be like a 4-win, 5-win team last year. But like they turn out to be like a pretty competitive team. I think Kellen Moore being the head coach down in New Orleans is actually going to pan out pretty well. I think again, like having Chris Olave back and having him still be a part of that wide receiver core is great for Tyler Shook. But I think overall, there's a lot of questions. Like, obviously they brought in Travis Achan from Jacksonville over to uh, the running back. So they brought basically 32, 33-year-old Alvin Kamara to be the ball handler in the
Yeah.
backfield. But see again, again, I got questions at tight end. Offensive line is still a little bit shaky to me. The defense is just you want to talk about how bad that Tennessee defense is,
Yeah.
Aidan. New Orleans
Yeah.
might they might be down there with them because hey, all I know is like for Saints fans, Bourbon Street's gonna be packed on Sundays for a lot of good reasons because there is not a lot of good things happening in defense for New Orleans.
Yeah, with the Saints, like there are a couple of pieces I like on the defensive side of the ball, but not a lot. Like there's not enough there to really make me believe in the defense. Offensively speaking, we kind of and you kind of hit on this in your point, like they were kind of scrappy last year, you know? They were a little scrappy last year, found a way to get some things done. That's kind of why I have them at 6-11. I think they split with the division outside of the Bucks, obviously, who I have sweeping.
Test.
Oh, Levi, you're there. I do think that they split with the division. I think they're gonna kind of play a little bit scrappy ball. I think they'll kind of find
Mhm.
their way into some wins, but I just there's not enough there for consistency's sake to really, really make me believe in them this year. So
Yeah. I think it's kind of what it's going to be a lot from like last year, where again they're going to be scrappy. They're going to be in a lot of close games with some very good teams, but
yeah,
I don't think that they're going to be like boom. Like the Saints are going to be like everyone's got to look out for the Saints. Like I think and I think Tyler Shook's going to have a really good year this year. Chris Olave is I think going to finally have a QB where he's not going to have floating lob balls over the middle, and then
yeah,
the safety comes out of nowhere and clocks Olave, and he's going to be out for 4 games with a concussion. That's happened
yeah,
the past 2 years in fantasy, and it's low key ticking me off. So
yeah,
Chris Olave, for the love of God, please, for my fantasy sake, please stay healthy because I can't
yeah,
take it anymore. But yeah.
yeah.
Hey, Levi, you're back now. Congratulations. We
Yeah, I'm
fixed,
back.
I
And I
guess,
need to say
our.
here, I need to
Oh, go
say,
ahead.
you guys are crazy for disrespecting the Buccaneers. They're going to be first in the division. I have them winning 13 games. They're going 13-4, guys. I am flabbergasted by your guys' decision on that. Here's the thing. During the first half of the season, they were great last year. I don't know what happened at the second half. They had a collapse, something that should not have happened. I think they're fantastic. Baker Mayfield is in a great situation in Tampa Bay, Florida. You got Bucky Irving as your running back, still a fairly decent running back, if not like maybe top 15. In case you forgot, they got Emeka Egbuka last year, who had a stellar performance, and I don't remember if he actually won like rookie of the year, but the dude was on
He did
fire last
not.
year. Thank you. Okay. Well,
He did
either
not.
way, regardless, he was without a doubt one of the best wide receivers last year, and he had an incredible performance. They still have Chris Godwin. He's getting a bit older, but he still can play at a fairly decent level.
Chris
I think they have
Godwin off of was it ACL or Achilles
a
injury? I forget which one,
I can't
but just
remember.
Achilles.
keep that in mind.
But
Achilles.
yeah, so he will be
Achilles.
coming off of injury, but I still think they do have a pretty excellent wide receiver room. They still got Kate Otten. Um, they just I don't know. They just looked like the Steelers in the second half of the season where they just had an absolute collapse and didn't know what the heck they were doing. I would disregard what happened last year as a fluke. Injuries, sure, those are going to happen, but I still do think that they are the best in the NFC South, the best that has to offer. I think they're 13-4. I think that's crazy. Peter, go ahead.
So when you were like off screen, did you take some edibles or something like that? Like
That's a great
when you
question.
decided?
That's a great
Because
question.
my brother in Christ, I'm going to say this in the kindest way possible. Did you not watch the Buccaneers at all last year?
A great question.
I watched them in the first half, and I watched them in the second half.
Okay. Can I actually, Peter, if
Okay.
I may build on your point here, actually, I already know, like, let's just ask the hard question, right? Outside of, listen, I have boom, boom, boom weeks 1 through 3 W's, right? Bengals, Browns, Vikings, easy W's. Should be nothing to sneeze at. I have them
Shout out to
sweeping the
David
South,
Jones
which
to
is
eating dubs.
six additional wins, right? That's their 6 additional wins. That's 9-8. Who are they beating outside of that? They're not beating the Chargers. They're certainly not
No,
beating the Rams.
I don't have them. I don't
They're
have them
not
being
beating
the
the
Chargers.
Packers.
I don't have them being the Chargers, the Rams, the Packers, and what was it? The Bears.
You think they're
Those
beating the Cowboys?
I think they'll beat the
Do you
Cowboys.
think they're going to beat the Lions?
You
I think they have a pretty good chance. I think that's an underdog game for them. I think that's an underdog game, personally.
Lord help this
Hey,
man.
Aidan, I think I know the main reason why Levi uh had the Buccaneers going 13-4. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Baker Mayfield got that dog in him.
Like
That
the
infinite
dog in the
amount
dog
of
pound
dog.
from the Browns, like that dog, the dog that's in the dog pound, like
No,
the
it's
Baker,
no. Just imagine like we get the headshot
the
of like Baker
X-ray.
Mayfield in the X-ray, and it's just like bulldog, and
Yeah,
like that's like
yeah.
Mayfield's got that
I
dog in
think
him.
I think you got the wrong dog in his rib cage. I think it's more of a chihuahua, like an ankle biter, not the
Ooh, no. I condone that. Baker Mayfield, if you are watching this, I condone that comment. You
you don't
got
condone that
pit
comment.
bull. I condone that comment because I believe that you got pit bull in you,
Or
buddy.
wait, no, you condemn that comment.
Hey, prove me
Sweet.
wrong about Tampa this year. Prove
Is
me
it
wrong.
is it is it condemn or condone?
It's condemn. Condone would be like you support it essentially, or you're
Oh,
not
I
against
condemn it.
it.
I mean, Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield. I'm an idiot. I don't know the English language too well. Okay.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong this year.
I condemn that comment. You got that pit bull. Baker Mayfield. Go prove like shut Aidan up. Go out and win an MVP at 8-9.
I listen. I wouldn't be against that. Truthfully, I just don't know how much I love Baker Mayfield anymore. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love Baker Mayfield. Like legit that game last week, he hurt his ankle and CJ Garner Johnson like, stood over him talking crap, and then like Baker Mayfield
That
like
was tough.
light switch and he came was like, "You want boy?" I'm just like, "Oh,
That was
okay,
tough.
you're a psychopath, but you're a good psychopath."
And I know as a longtime fan, I hate the Browns. I do. But man, I hate them even more for getting rid of Baker Mayfield. I still think that it was one of the biggest mistakes that they made. They gave up on
Yeah.
him after everything that he done for them. And so he's on a revenge tour. I know he didn't have a very successful career in Carolina, but this was his resurgence in Tampa. And if they can fix some things, stop the flukes, the injuries, I still think they'll be a phenomenal person. That's me,
All right,
but prove me wrong.
eight,
Now
Levi,
what was
before we get into the Saints, because we were talking about the Saints when you were gone.
yeah.
Can you give us like per your AFC South rankings who you finishing
Oh
first to
yeah,
last?
Yeah, so it was number one, Texans at 13-4, two, the Jaguars 13-4, Colts at third at 12-5, and then fourth place, Titans 5-12.
that is a
Okay,
winning
so
division, which I'm kind of
that
shocked
is
by.
like elite
But
division. Okay,
yeah,
Levi, go ahead and give us your prediction
Saints.
for the Saints.
Yeah, Saints, I'm sorry. They're in a similar boat as the Titans. They're going 5-12 this year. Not gonna be very successful. Lots of personally to me, lots of trouble that they have there. Um Starting off, I mean, Tyler Shook, I just don't think he is the best quarterback. I think last year, I mean, his QBR, I think, was like under 50% last year. I know that's not necessarily like, it's like kind of average, but I,
50%. Are you talking completion percentage or are you talking about QBR?
no, no, his QBR, his QBR.
QBR
Um,
isn't a percentage.
Sorry, what I meant to say is 40, it was 48.8. Um, that was his QBR rating last year. But
Gotcha.
either way, I just don't have a lot of confidence in him. I already talked about with like Chris Olave's situation with his extension. He's a great wide receiver, but there's just not a whole lot going on the Saints right now that he doesn't have the help he needs. Um, I do think there's just a bit of problems when it comes to their depth. Travis Etienne's still a great running back. Um, Devon Vell, wide receiver, I don't really think there's a lot going on right there. Um, defense is kind of all over the place, and the Saints really just they have a lot of work to do. They really have not been relevant since Drew Brees retired, and they had their whole situation with like I don't remember the name of the the guy who played as QB who was not normally a QB, but I'm thinking back
Taysom
to that
Hill.
situation. Taysom Hill, thank
No.
you.
Speaking
Hey,
of
no
which,
longer on the
Taysom
team. Taysom
Hill. Yeah,
Hill.
I was gonna say, salute Taysom Hill. He deserves it. So, R.I.P.
Yeah.
He's not
Okay.
dead.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he's
not
not
dead. He's
dead.
just
Yeah,
no longer on the team.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I guess with that said, we'll move on then to the Falcons, and I think this should be a really interesting one. So I'm actually gonna take the lead on this if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Falcons, I have it 7-10. I don't trust Michael Penix. I certainly don't trust Tua. I love Bijan. I think he's a phenomenal running back. I don't think he can carry this team to a winning record, much less winning the division. Obviously, um, the big flags I really have with the Falcons kind of comes back to uh the defensive side of the ball outside of James Pierce Jr., who I like. AJ Terrell is solid, and Jesse Bates is like probably arguably the best safety in the league. I think we
Mhm.
can all agree with that.
Mhm.
Um Obviously Drake London's good. Uh but then it comes back to who's throwing them the ball. Like I don't love Michael Penix. I certainly don't love Tua again, like I said. And
Two
then
left
Kyle Pitts.
quarterbacks on the same roster.
Is it Kyle
The
Pitts?
concussion man himself.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts breakout year. Part 6 or whatever. What was he? 18? Was he
The
drafted like
Kyle Pitts
18 or whatever?
train,
I don't
Kyle
know.
Pitts hype.
Hold up,
Yeah,
let me look this up real fast. Kyle Pitts was selected in 2021, so this is his 5th year.
2021. Yeah. So Kyle Pitts breakout year part 5. He's got to go first overall any fantasy league. That's good fantasy advice. Make sure you pick him if you're
No,
1-1.
Please
terrible
take our
Make sure you
fantasy
pick him.
advice.
Make sure you
Do
pick
not take
Kyle
his
Pitts.
fantasy advice. He has not won the league yet.
I took Kyle Pitts last year. Not at
How'd that
1-1.
turn out?
Well,
How'd that turn out?
he
It
was
was
on
good.
my
It was
team.
good for a 3-week stretch, and then everything fell apart.
He was on my team, and then he wasn't on my team because I dropped him. So I'll let you be the judge. Anyways, Peter, what do you got for us, Peter? What do you got for us?
I have Atlanta finishing the division in 3rd place, tied with the Bucks at 8 and 9. I think the main reason why I have it is, again, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, I love like Drake London. I love when Kyle Pitts is like actually put in an offense where they can actually utilize his talents. Hashtag Arthur Smith. And then again, Bijan Robinson. I think Bijan Robinson is the very definition of Lamborghini stuck in the trailer park. He is amazing. He is wonderful.
Amen, brother.
He has done horrible things to me in fantasy because I had to face him multiple times, and I never want to have to face that again. But shout out to you, Bijan. You're absolute. But again, kind of like what Levi was saying, or not Levi, you were saying, Aidan. Tua, it's weird. Like, Tua's not awful. I think it's because like last year was horrifically bad because I think everything I mean just like fell apart so fast.
Yeah,
and it really I don't really blame him for anything for the fact that they just didn't build around him properly. They just like, gave him like all the tools, but they didn't give him nothing to protect him with. I think this is a much better offensive line. But obviously it's a question mark at QB. The defense is still, again, it's a defense where they got pieces, but
yeah,
I don't see the vision. Obviously James Pierce Jr., I think he did. Was he the player that got into the off the field issues this past year? Or am I tripping?
I do not recall off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Can you look that up real fast? Because I don't want to sound like
gotcha.
I am talking ill on James Jr. Because I do remember there was an Atlanta Falcon that did get some off-field issue. But again, like I think Kevin Stefanski being there, I think this team is just more so going off of what last year's what it was composed of. He's trying to build off of that.
Yeah, so there is some there was an arrest that happened 4 months ago,
right?
Or 5 months ago. So yeah,
but I think
at least from what I'm reading. So
I think overall, I think that there's going to be like a very middle of the pack team the whole way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for mine, I had them going. I had them going 7 and 10 as well. So, like you said, you guys have pretty much kind of summed it up. But just to kind of give you my 2 cents, Tua, I'm sorry, you're a concussion guy, man, dude. I don't see you lasting around there. You should probably retire. There's not a lot going for you. You got Bijan,
you're acting like he's doing it to himself on purpose.
bro.
and he's
I
not.
feel like he is. I don't know if this dude just
That's
realizes
crazy.
or not that like he
That's
literally
crazy.
is going
You
to
can't
probably
say
die
that.
out there.
You cannot say that. You can't say that.
This dude,
He's
I'm
not,
sorry.
He's not out here getting concussions on purpose.
I know he's not, but man, he's getting there. It's crazy, and I don't want him to. I don't want to see a collapsed dude on the field, man. He's getting messed up in the brain. But
Is that supposed to be like a DeMar Hamlin reference?
oh, that's
Levi,
crazy.
Levi, do us a favor. Stop talking. Just stop talking. You're getting yourself a
Anyways,
hole.
Bijan's great. Kyle Pitts, I'm here for the Kyle Pitts hype, but
Levi will be selecting Kyle Pitts 1-1, just so y'all know.
Kyle Pitts 1-1.
That's true.
Lastly,
it's gonna go. Yeah.
lastly, is the Carolina Panthers. I have them going 7-10, boys.
Do you care to explain why?
Oh, yeah. But so they had a great season last year, and I'm really not unhappy with the way they performed. Kind of looking particularly, I'm kind of looking at their schedule, and there's just a lot more teams out there that I think are better than the Panthers. They got to open in Carolina against the Bears. I think the Bears are a phenomenal team. So I do have them.
Don't hype me up. Don't hype me up, Levi. Don't hype me
They're
up.
gonna kick their teeth in.
I have them losing
Bears
that,
are
but
gonna kick
a lot
their
of
teeth in.
big notable matchups. They're going to lose to them. They're going to lose to Detroit, Eagles, Packers, Broncos. I don't need to go through naming all of them, but I just think that their schedule is a little more difficult this year. That I just don't think there's a lot of promise for them because there are better teams out there than them. They're not. It's not like they're the greatest team. They're still kind of in the middle of the pack, but slightly above average. So I think Bryce Young is the future for the Panthers. I think he's a great quarterback. I like Chuba Hubbard as the running back. He was kind of one of my favorites last year. I believe I had him on my roster last year too. So I do like what they have going there. So it's not like they have a lot of problems. It's just simply to me, I just don't think they have the best schedule that is favoring them this year personally. So yeah, I think they only get 7 wins this season.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this.
Me to go.
Yeah, I can. Yep.
Oh, you
and
go.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this. I actually agree with Levi for once. I have the Panthers also at 7-10. I think that if you are a Panthers fan, you have a lot to look forward to. I actually really do like this Panthers team quite a bit. I like a lot of the pieces they have. I also think if you're a Panthers fan, you might as well not even watch this year. This is the worst draw I think you possibly could have had. Like, especially to build off how the end of the year was last year. Like, I just think they got such a tough schedule. They low key got shafted with this schedule. I'm gonna be so honest. Like, I just don't think it's a favorable draw for them, and that's why I have them at 7-10. Otherwise, don't really have too many negatives for the Panthers. It all just comes back to the schedule.
I actually have the Panthers win the division at 9.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
I can respect it.
And I think the main reason why is because what makes the NFC South is like, I can see the potential of losing maybe one of those games. So, but again, I think there's going to be some like good like testing games that obviously they can like have. But like it's weird because like last year the Panthers played the Green Bay Packers and the Panthers won. Like there are those types of games where it's like that, or like the Broncos, for example. Like like they have them on schedule. Like the Broncos are kind of probably like almost like a double-digit favorite to win that game. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Panthers like somehow win that game because they are a muck it up type of team where it is like an absolute dogfight for 4 quarters. And we're talking like it's like 14-10, 17-10, like entering the fourth quarter, and then the Panthers just like that turn it on, and then they take the lead, or they maintain, or they hold their lead that they have. Not to say that again, I'm not huge on Bryce Young, but I love Tedrow McMillan. I think that he's an absolute stud. I think overall the team, again, there's nothing really about the offense that I'm like super high on. As long as like efficient enough to stay in games, I think they'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I think with the defense, I think that with Jalen Phillips and like them solidified the defensive front, I think they're more so building off of how decent that defense was last year and just continue to be whole muck it up, make it low scoring enough to where we can still hang in it. And then like if we win by 3 points, we call it a day type of deal. So that's why I have them at 9-8. I think they're just gonna be that scrappy team where I think a lot of people are like they shouldn't belong here, but I think they'll be there to win the division.
Yeah, and I totally respect that. Like, what did you say? What their record was?
9
He
and
said
8.
9-8. Yeah.
9-8. Okay, yeah. See, that's still respectable. I mean, and obviously from what you guys had for the NFC South, particularly, you guys don't have them doing very well this season. They really haven't been very good past few seasons. So a 9-8 Panthers, I can't say I'm too surprised by that. But yeah, like I kind of had said, comes down to like the schedule. I don't think it's heavily in their favor. But I do still think they are at least decent enough that, despite me having the Bucks go 13-4, I do think that the Panthers could come back and go and win that division. It's just probably going to be a very pretty bad records. That division is probably going to be won off of a pretty bad record, in my opinion.
Except for the Bucks, who are gonna go 13-4
Except for the Bucks.
somehow by some miracle. You ever
By
seen
some
you know about the
miracle.
miracle on ice? Yeah, that's more like the
I guess that's
miracle in the
me.
NFC South because
Yeah, I guess that's me.
the miracle on 34th Street. No, the miracle on NFC South Street.
Yeah.
They said they're gonna like bring back that whole Super Bowl winning squad, like the ghost of all those players.
Yeah,
just like come racing through the locker room and possess. Like
it's
Tom
gonna
Brady
be
will
like
come out and manifest
Field of
himself
Dreams.
inside Baker Mayfield.
It's gonna be Field of Dreams.
Like,
They're gonna bring they're gonna build a new stadium mid-season.
Yes, build it and they will come. It's like,
yeah.
Tom Brady is like, Tom Brady's like, do you want to be on my TB12 diet?
Yeah, literally.
Dude, okay. Did you see Tom Brady's new like brand that he put out?
No, what?
Dude, I think he has a brand out called Nut Juice.
Really?
Levi,
I think
not
I had
lying.
saw. I think I did see something. I thought
Levi,
I saw a
you
Tom
need
Brady
to-
commercial not too long ago. But I think you're
For
right.
our people
Not
watching this on
real.
YouTube, like you can throw a picture of like
It
that
cannot be real.
that juice brand that Tom Brady has. I think it's called
yeah,
Nut
it's-
Juice.
It's called Good Nut.
Oh, it's called Good Night.
Night.
Oh no, that's even worse.
Oh,
That's
no.
even worse.
That's just not great at all.
It's an organic.
Oh no,
it's an organic coconut water line. It's a type of water, basically.
I just would like to point this out. The very first, one of the first things that popped up when I just looked this up. It's a Reddit thread. It says Tom Brady just dropped a coconut water called Good Nut, and then one of the comments is like, "Is Tom Brady's Good Nut any good? And then what are the best nuts for a non-nut liker?" Like, I mean, you can't make this up, man.
Oh,
I think he's got to fire the marketing team on that. That's
TB12 right there. TB12.
TB12 brand. He just like goes up to
That's his
Baker
brand.
Mayfield and the whole like Buccaneers squad. You just want to drink this?
We are not sponsored,
And
guys.
then
We are not sponsored by
and
Tom Brady's Good
not
Nut.
sponsored. Not sponsored.
I would be sponsored by his Good Nut.
Okay, relax. Calm down.
Relax, kid.
No, the
Calm
drink,
down.
dude. The drink, bro. Chill out, bro. The drink,
So
bro. Tom
to
Brady, reach out,
to
bro.
sum it up, guys. To sum it up, I had the first in division Bucks 13-4. In second place, Panthers 7-10. Third place, the Falcons at 7-10 as well, and in fourth place, the Saints at 5-12.
Yeah, I had the Bucks at 9-8 in first. Second and third, I had tied Falcons and Panthers at 7-10. Saints in last at 6-11.
Yeah, I had the Panthers division at 9-8. Atlanta, Tampa Bay tied for second at 8-9. New Orleans finished last at 7-10.
Excellent. Next week we will not have Peter with us. He's going to be on a trip. So, but next week, stay tuned for some more content. Lots of things coming our way. We're very excited for. But before we do end this night, we are going to go ahead and do our week 2 of the Buckeye Breakdown. So last time, Aidan went and he got 4 points.
Three points. 3 points.
You're,
3.
3 points.
no,
Yeah, 3.
you got the play, which was worth 2. You got
and the players.
team, and then you
the
got
team,
the
player.
yeah.
I didn't get the year. I didn't
You're
get
right.
the year.
So Aidan went
big
3.
point.
Aidan got 3 out of the 4 points last week. So we're going to waste no time, and we're going to give him his next item here. So let's take a look at that. Let's see.
We
We're
will
getting
get
there.
there
Here we go.
eventually.
All right.
Yeah, here we go.
This is your week 2 guess, Aidan.
Here comes a blitz. Picked up. Fields looking over the middle. Caught. KJ Hill. Touchdown. Buckeyes. And Ohio State.
Levi, the audio's.
Its first lead.
Wait, no, I can hear it.
Here comes a blitz.
Can I get a replay on that, please?
Yeah, I can get you a replay here.
Here comes a blitz. Picked up. Fields looking over the middle. Caught. KJ Hill. Touchdown. Buckeyes.
Let's see.
And
Okay.
Ohio State takes its first lead of the night.
So this is hard.
Think about I
Justin
want you
Fields
to
is a
also kind of
19
think
and
about
20.
giving you, I guess, a slight hint. Think about what Gus Johnson was saying there. That kind of helps you narrow down like your time of day.
Well,
when this game was.
Can I get it one more time, please?
One more time. Here you go.
Picked up. Fields looking over the middle. Caught. KJ Hill. Touchdown. Buckeyes. And Ohio State takes its first lead of the night.
Okay, so that doesn't sound like 2020 because that sounds like real fan noise. So it has to be 2019, I'm pretty sure. The question is when in 2019?
Yeah, because Gus
has their
Johnson being on the
first
call
lead-
does not narrow that down.
No, not at all. 2019 was a good year. And I don't think, I mean, first lead of the night could be in reference to it being a night game, but I don't know if I trust that either because I think that's kind of also just a figure of speech. You know what I'm saying?
Like an afternoon, like to evening game.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the hard part lies in that. It's 2019 again, kind of a weird year. Let's see.
At least you know the player.
Yeah, well, KJ Hill helps. I mean, again, that has to be 2019. Because again, I think if you listen to the fan audio, it doesn't sound like the fake pumped in audio that they would play in the 2020 season. It sounds like real fans. Based off the reaction.
Who do you think this team was? If you kind of listen to the keywords of Gus Johnson and how the game sounded like it was going, that could help.
That does not help. Let me listen to it one more time.
There was one particular thing he does say there that might help you.
Fields looking over the middle. Caught. KJ Hill, touchdown, Buckeyes. And Ohio State takes its first lead of the night.
So they were down
There's
in that
something
game.
but that's the weird part.
What's
That
that?
2019 year, the only game I think they would have really trailed in more than likely would have been Clemson at the end of the year.
Yeah, but I don't think Gus Johnson would have been at all.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have been. That's what's confusing.
Because it'd
2018
be
was
like a
Dwayne Haskins. Or no, it's 2017 Dwayne. No, we only had 2 years of Fields. And again, it can't be 2020. Let me listen to it one more time here. I'm sorry. I apologize to the fans here.
Hey, maybe these fans want to hear it. It's good.
Here comes a blitz. Picked up. Fields looking over the middle. Caught. KJ Hill, touchdown, Buckeyes. And Ohio State takes its first lead of the
Lead
night.
of the night. The fans, like, doesn't sound like a super full game. This could be like Penn State potentially. So I remember KJ Hill having a decent game against Penn State. I want to
It
say
sounded
that
like it was
could
that
be right.
away game because the fan response was not very loud.
Yeah, it wasn't like a loud crowd pop. I think I'm gonna lean. I think I'm gonna go 2019 Penn State here. Obviously, the player being KJ Hill.
KJ Hill's the player. I mean, do you at least have just an idea of what the play kind of was? I know it's kind of hard to detect that, but
I mean, if I well, it depends on if I remember the 2019 year correctly. I mean, that's what 7 years ago now.
mhm.
It's probably something.
He gave us the lead. He helped us take the lead for the first time of the night.
Wow, thanks for the in-depth analysis there. That's
You're
really
welcome.
helpful.
You're welcome.
It's almost like Gus Johnson told you.
Yeah, I don't know how that would have ever. I mean, it's probably like a. Actually, hold on a second. I think I see why you're saying that. This isn't Penn State. This is Wisconsin. This is in the Big Ten championship game, I think. Because we trailed against Wisconsin going into the second half. We trailed Wisconsin going into the second half and had to come back in the second half. Let me hear it one more time. One last time, really quick.
Your last play.
Here comes a blitz. Picked up. Fields looking over the middle. Caught. KJ Hill, touchdown, Buckeyes.
I don't know how to explain it, but that sounds like that.
Takes its first lead of the night.
That sounds like an indoor facility. That doesn't sound like an outside stadium. If that
That's
was
crazy
Penn
that you can
State,
detect if it's an indoor and outdoor facility.
I mean, I think
Good
it's just like
years.
I mean, again, that's not necessarily accurate. Like, I just, based off what I'm hearing, it sounds a little bit more muffled as opposed to where if it was outside, I think there would be more, like more jump in the audio. I don't know. I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong.
So what is your final answer?
I think this is the Big Ten championship against Wisconsin
You are
in
correct,
2019.
Aidan. You are correct. You got it all. You got all three this week. I thought we were at that game. So and that's
We
probably
were
a
at
little
that
hard.
game.
That's not one you got to watch on TV. So you're looking at it from a field's view. So I thought that one would kind of stump you there. So I really did think you were gonna go Penn State, but you had that quick turnaround. And like I said, that
Well,
that coming back after the lead.
only reason I was close with Penn State is because I know this was around the time where like our Penn State games were really close with them. Like, and I knew it was gonna, like, 2019. I think we went 13-0 or 12-0, maybe. And so I knew that, like, we didn't lose a game, so we didn't trail a lot, or at least very rarely. And if we did, it was always early in the game, right?
Yeah, right.
So the only realistic options would have been Penn State. Michigan could have been up there, but this was the year we blew them out at Michigan, I'm pretty sure. Um, so that's kind of how I narrowed it down to Penn State and Wisconsin. And then again, I don't know what it was,
Here
something
it
about
is
the
right here for
audio.
you.
Picked up. Fields looking over the middle. Caught. KJ Hill. Touchdown. Buckeyes.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, something about the audio, like, it just sounded a little bit more kind of muted audio, whereas I feel like outside it would have been a lot more kind of poppy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, great poll though.
also, Peter's note of it not being at home was a good call out, because I think if it was at home, it would have been a lot louder, obviously.
You're probably right.
And so a neutral site kind of, plays into that. So
It does. Yeah, so well done, Aiden. I mean, you got 4 points this week. So right now you got 7 in total. So you're on a pretty good pace right here. So stay
we like to
tuned.
see.
Stay tuned for our next few weeks as we continue the Buckeye Breakdown. Like I said, we got a lot of content on the way. Football season is just right around the corner. So we are very excited for everything we have coming forward for us. I'm going to leave you guys with this. Excuse me.
Got a frog in your throat. Holy cow.
I know, man. What can I say? Had some of that Tom Brady's drink, I guess.
Stop. Stop. Levi, you're going to get yourself killed. You need to stop. Stop.
I'm gonna leave you.
All right. Hold up. For our listeners, I'm going to do the whole get some help.
Yeah.
Like the Michael Jordan meme. Stop.
Yeah.
Get some help.
I'll leave you guys with this. Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I can't wait for what they have going on this season, because Aaron Rodgers is gonna be the best.
No. You're delusional. Stop it.
He
Get
is
some help.
delusional.
Get
I
some
have
help.
to agree, unfortunately.
You need to go see a therapist or something.
One can dream. One can dream. But what are you guys have any final thoughts before we sign off?
Stay off the weed, Levi. Stay off the weed,
Mhm.
Levi. And maybe stay off the
Stay away
weed.
from Tom Brady's drink. No, it's like
Yeah,
it's like
that
stay
too,
off the
actually.
weed, get away from Tom Brady's drink. Our battle with bad microphone and bad internet quality continues.
Yeah.
The story
Yeah.
continues. We love that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not seen it. Right down here, all of our social media is right here for you guys to join. We'd love for you guys to continue on our journey, all the different things we have going on. Got some live streams planned here in the coming weeks, again, as we're getting to football season. So if you want any updates, social media is going to be your best way. Our Instagram, TikTok. Continue to follow us and watch us on YouTube. We can't thank you guys enough for being a part of our journey, and we are so excited for the content we have coming for you this fall. So with all those things said, it's been Peter and Aidan. I've been Levi. We thank you guys, and we will see you guys next week. You guys have a wonderful week.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye.